So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
The heat is on. Okay, so in full disclosure, the title is not actually referring to Glenn Frey's song, The Heat is On. In today's context, it refers to the heat and the fire and the passion and the fervor of spirit that is living as you. That's what we're talking about today. And it's ready to be ignited at any minute if you would but flick the switch by engaging, embracing, and empowering life. And I say that the heat, the fire, the passion, the fervor of spirit living as you is the truth, the spiritual truth of who you are. Remember these statements of truth that we made last week. I am the mighty ocean in a drop of water. So let's say these after me. I am a mighty ocean in a drop of water. And as such, I have the power of the ocean at my fingertips. I am a vehicle of concentrated God stuff. And as such, I have the power of God concentrate at my disposal. I am the formed expression of the infinite unformed. And as such, I have the power to form the infinite unformed. I am a singular manifestation of all that is. And as such, all that is me. I am a point of light of the eternal sun. And as such, it is my birthright to shine. I am a perfect creation of the Creator of all. Creator of all. And as such, I am a creator. So the question this morning is, are you embodying these truths? Are you embodying these truths? Mm-hmm. Well, here are a couple of touchstones to help ascertain whether you are or not. You don't need to answer them aloud, just answer them in your heart. Are you filled with energy, creativity, vitality, joy, and enthusiasm for your life? Do you feel the power of God's presence in your life on an ongoing basis? Are you experiencing the flow of God's blessings and abundance? Are you manifesting your heart's desires? Do you feel like you are living on purpose, sharing the gifts that you came here to share? If your answer to all of these questions is yes, or even yes most of the time, then you've done a beautiful job of embodying your spiritual truth. Congratulations. Yay. If you answered yes, even yes most of the time, or, maybe not as much of the time, I think we still have some work that we can do to expand this. It's your responsibility to take what you know, what you have embodied, what your gifts are, and to share them with the world, because ultimately we must give back in order to continue our spiritual journey. At some point, when we get it, when we embody it, at least most of the time, the only way to continue our spiritual unfoldment is to then give it. It's when the student becomes the teacher, right? So let me say that again because I think it's important. When we get it, when we embody it, at least most of the time, the only way to continue our spiritual unfoldment is to give it, to share it. So if you answered no to any of those questions, or no, not always, or well, maybe if you catch me on a good day, right? Maybe, to that series of questions, then maybe we haven't fully embodied our spiritual truth. And if you're not sure of your answer, then listen to the words of the no-nonsense New Thought leader and founder of the Christ Universal Temple in Chicago, Reverend Johnnie Colemon. Anybody heard of Reverend Johnnie Colemon? Oh, she's a prolific writer in Science of Mind. If you know it, you show it. So if you don't show it, then honey, you don't really know it. And that's okay. It's really absolutely okay. Wherever we are, it's okay. It just says that there is some important work that we're here to do. And so wherever you are on the self-assessment review that you just took, I have a suggestion this morning, and a suggestion that if followed can heat up your life with a passion of giving and serving, or with a passion of self-discovery. It's a suggestion that sounds really simple, but can be actually a challenge. Can be actually a challenge to live. And this is what it is. Get about the business of being you. Everybody else is taken, right? Get about the business of being you. Ralph Waldo Emerson, we all have heard of him, from the 1800s, he was a very influential writer in the New Thought movement. He wrote, "There is no planet, sun, or star could hold you if you but knew what you are." Wow. And what are you? What are you? You are the mighty ocean in a drop of water. You are a vehicle of concentrated God stuff. You are the formed expression of the infinite unformed. You are a singular manifestation of all that is. You are a point of light of the eternal sun. You are a perfect creation of the Creator of all. So right here and right now, God is expressing itself uniquely as you and 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 you are the unique expression of Spirit. Holmes tells us in The Science of Mind, the eternal has placed itself at the center of our being. The discovery of this, the greatest truth about humankind, is the greatest discovery of all ages. Have you truly made this discovery for yourself? Do you truly recognize the significance of that? Do you fathom the power of that, really? Do you fathom the power? We focused on that question last week, and today we're going to take it even a little bit deeper. If we did get this, as Emerson said, no planet, sun, or star could hold us. Not realizing who we are and the power we have right within us, we look around and we say, gee, I wish I could be like him or like her. Or, okay, how come she's got all the breaks? Why can't I be like that? There's really a beautiful illustration of this in the Tao of Pooh called The Stonecutter. Anybody read The Stonecutter? Remember it? There was once a stonecutter who was dissatisfied with himself and his position in life. He felt worthless and powerless. One day he passed a wealthy merchant's house, and through the open gateway he saw many fine possessions and important visitors. How powerful that merchant must be, he thought, and he became very envious and wished that he could be like the merchant. Then he would no longer have to live the life of a lowly stonecutter. To his great surprise, he became the merchant, enjoying more luxury and power than he had ever dreamed of. But soon a high official passed by, carried by, one of those sedan chairs, right? Accompanied by attendants and escorted by soldiers and beating gongs. Everyone, no matter how wealthy or influential they were, had to bow down before him. How powerful that leader is, the stonecutter turned wealthy merchant thought. I wish I could be a high official. Then he became a high official, carried everywhere in his embroidered chair, and he was the most powerful man around. Now it was a hot summer day, and the stonecutter turned wealthy merchant turned official felt very uncomfortable in the chair, and he looked up at the sun. It shone proudly in the sky, unaffected by his presence. How powerful the sun is, he thought. I wish that I could be the sun. And then he became the sun, shining down on everyone with its power and might. But suddenly, a huge black cloud moved between the earth and the stonecutter turned wealthy merchant turned official turned the sun, so that the light could no longer shine on everything below. How powerful that storm cloud is, he thought. I wish I could be a cloud. He became the cloud covering the sun wherever he went. But then the stonecutter turned wealthy merchant, turned official, turned the sun, turned the cloud, felt himself being pushed away by some great force, a force greater than he had ever felt. And he realized it was the wind. How powerful it is, he thought. I wish I could be the wind. And so he became the wind, blowing tiles off the roofs of houses and uprooting trees, showing his immense power wherever he went. But after a while, the stonecutter turned wealthy merchant, turned official, turned the sun, turned the cloud, turned the wind, ran up against something that would not move.
Whoa. Yep.
No matter how forcefully he blew against it, it would not budge. It was a huge, towering stone. How powerful that stone is, he thought. I wish I could be that stone. Then he became the stone, more powerful than anything else on earth. But as he stood there, he heard the sound of a hammer pounding a chisel into the rock, and he felt himself being changed. What could be more powerful than this stone, he thought. And then he looked down and he saw the figure of the stone cutter. All the power there is, all the power we need is right inside of us. But like the stone cutter, we often think everyone else has it. Everybody but us. Here is the spiritual truth. There is no planet, sun, or star could hold you if you but knew what you are. Holmes in The Science of Mind says, the higher the sense of truth, the greater will be the realization of the uniqueness of our individual character and personality. The real self is God-given and cannot be denied. It is the place where God comes to a point of individualized and personified expression. That point. Each of us is an individualized and personified expression of the One, showing up uniquely with unique gifts and talents and ways of expressing. There was a great Foxtrot. Does anybody read Foxtrot in the Sunday papers now? It's a cartoon. Does anybody get the paper anymore? It was several years ago, and it was a conversation between the mother and her genius son, Jason. He's the youngest son, and he's just extremely bright. And it went like this. The mom says, Jason, what are you doing? Jason says, building a model rocket, which I will fill with salt and shoot into a cloud, thus seeding it for rain. Exasperated, the mom says, I asked you to water the lawn. Jason says, look, you do things your way, I do them my way. So I want us to do a little experiment right now. And this is congregate participation time. So this strikes terror in your heart. Just go with it. It'll be okay. I want you to think, and we have a room full of very, very talented people here. But I want you to think of one talent, one gift, one skill that you have, that if you thought about it for just a moment, you would realize that it is yours in a very unique way. It is your gift. It is your talent. It is your skill. It may be something you've nurtured. It may be something that you have not. You know that you have this gift, but maybe you haven't really nurtured it much. So think about that for a moment. Does everybody have something in mind? Okay? You don't have to participate if you don't want to, but if you choose to, because that was the easy part. Here comes the challenging part. I want you to turn to a neighbor, and I want you to introduce yourself first and tell him or her about it, and don't minimize it. Don't say, well, it really isn't that. Don't put it down. Don't minimize it. Just you tell it. You tell it like it is. Share it with passion. Share it with enthusiasm. Share it with excitement, and put some heat into it. And keep sharing until I say stop. Okay, you keep talking about it. It's going to be about maybe 30 seconds. So are you ready? Okay, go.
Yes, you are. And you're wrong. One was
little. I have the most beautiful paintings and the most beautiful clothes that I make.
I don't know we're still stuck.
I totally get that. I'm intuitive and I have the capacity to
what they need to do.
Okay, switch now. Let somebody else talk.
So you can talk more.
Oh no, since I was little, I stole my books.
Yeah, that they wrote up
Something I like more than I like to get rid of. And I was telling you again, I was my
And you're very grateful for your gift, right?
Okay, if somebody hasn't spoken, switch now.
You probably take it to it like
Okay. You're starting to heat up now. Hey. All right. So part two. Part two. Think about that unique gift or talent for a moment and think about a way that you could use it to bring more of God's love, light, and truth into the world. Share it as you are doing or how you have done it now in the present tense. Okay? We're going to go back to sharing again. Okay? So share it again as if you were doing it now in the present tense.
Okay, we want your
Okay. So you're going to think about your unique gift and you're going to think about a way you could bring more of God's light and love and truth into the world and share as if you were doing it now, right now, whatever it was your gift was. So, ready and go.
You know, what you said is very similar. Right. A little bit of does see the potential. Gift enforcement.
figures out ways to make money.
Champion them.
I use my intentional knowledge to just key into the energies of each and every one of us.
Be a babysitter.
Okay, now switch. Okay, go on.
It just helps me to know
Is it
what I
ready
need
for
in
people
order
to
to
take that
I can
on
put that together.
and perhaps share that transformation?
I haven't got my painted,
So
I haven't seen it for 3 years. I didn't paint for 17 years. For painted
And switch again if we have a third person or keep going.
I'm saying, keep pushing that.
Creativity now.
Yeah.
I know, I guess me too.
Talk to them. I feel like I make garments for homeless people.
I think you bring your creation, just as the vibration of you as a creator being.
Okay, I think that we've got some fire going on here. I think we might want to continue this on at coffee time because when some great ideas are coming out of this. This is really
Well, we're
awesome.
gonna go eat at coffee time.
Okay. All right. Well, I love the words from Eric Butterworth. He wrote, "You do not have to beg life to be good or to bring good into your life. Life is like the sun. It shines on everything, but you must get out of the shadows. When you think of yourself as being capable and creative, you do not make yourself capable and creative. You simply let the light shine through your innate potential. This way of thinking does not make the creative power. It simply attunes us with the power which is. It's already there. What you just did, what you just shared, when you were sharing your talents as an as-if way, was to attune yourself with the power that is. You have attuned yourself with the power that is. And miraculous things can happen when you do that. Perhaps even instantaneous miraculous things. So during the minister's prayer one Sunday, there was a loud whistle from the back of the pews, and it was little Johnny. His mother was, of course, horrified and pinched him into silence. After church, she asked Johnny, "What made you do such a thing?" Johnny answered soberly, "I asked God to teach me to whistle, and he did, just then." Instantaneous, right? Teilhard de Chardin, a French monk in the 19th century, he wrote, he was a mystic, "It is our duty as men and women to behave as though limits to our ability do not exist. We are co-creators of the universe." Co-creators. And that is what I'm asking you to do today. Behave as though limits to your ability do not exist. Remember that you are a co-creator of the universe. I mean, how many of us have heard about a young teenager who has invented something because he didn't know he couldn't? Nobody told him that it wasn't possible because he's of that fresh mind. Remember that no planet, sun, or star could hold you if you but knew who you are. Remember this and let it heat up your passion, heat up your life, and heat it up with that passion. And finally, remember, this is written. This was written by Dr. Deb Whitehouse, and this was in INTA's New Thought magazine several years ago. And she said, "When the spark of the divine found in each heart is fanned into flame, together we shall be able to set the whole world on fire." So I'd like to just do a little meditation right now. And this is actually came to me at 4 o'clock this morning. So just take a deep breath and picture in your mind what creates the perfect world. What is in your perfect world right now? For you are creating it. You as spirit are creating this world that you are going to live in. So I see peace. I see prosperity. I see love. I see people choosing to come from love in all of their decisions. I see compassion. I see joy. I see happiness. I see kindness. And you can add whatever you choose exists in your world. For you are creating it right now. You are the cause. What we focus on, what we put our attention on, becomes our experience. And so I choose all that is good, all of the qualities that are spirit, as they flow through and in and as me and into the world. And the second part of this assignment is to then go forth into the week and find everything that you have just created and take note of it. See the kindness, see the patience, see the love, see the joy. See this in your world. And as you do this and take note of it, give thanks. For what we are grateful for expands in our experience. And we are the ones who have the power to do this. And we choose to do this right now. And so it is.